to another episode of
The Fuzzy Pod.
We are going down memory lane once again because that's what we do here on the Fuzzy Pod. We love to talk about all things nostalgia and those things that give us the warm, fuzzy feelings. Well, nothing says nostalgia quite like Disney Channel.
Ugh.
That network raised us, truly.
That network is why I am the person I am today.
Yes, it is responsible for the
better or the worse.
All the things we believe, the people we became is because of Disney Channel. The mouse truly has a chokehold on us. Let's be real. It's still going on.
Yeah, it's true. He says jump and I say how high. And he says I'm raising prices for Disneyland tickets and I said take my money.
He says be there at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the premiere of this new DCOM. And we said...
we were there at 6:45.
We were there. Today we are going to be talking about just that thing exactly. Disney Channel original movies, also known as DCOMs. But here's the thing about DCOMs. You may be familiar with titles such as The Cheetah Girls, massive.
High School Musical.
Camp Rock.
Huge. Camp Rock.
We named mostly musicals, but
that was their thing.
That was kind of thing. The Descendants, I think, kind of like later on was the big one.
And Past Our Time.
Past Our Time, though. That's it's not relevant to what we're talking about here because
it's not relevant to us.
We're old. But all this to say, there are some truly hidden gems, some forgotten DCOMs, if you will, that we will be discussing here today on the pod.
And there are so many good ones. After talking about doing this episode, honestly, since the inception of the Fuzzy Pod, we've been wanting to do this episode. So to say that we're excited to talk about all the forgotten DCOMs of our generation
is an understatement for sure. To say that we're excited.
To say that we're excited is a huge understatement.
Elated?
Overjoyed?
Overjoyed? Are those about the same?
Ecstatic?
Gagged.
Oh. Whoa. I mean, the mouse does have a chokehold.
This is true. It really does.
But there are just so many gems. And today I think we're probably only going to talk about a quarter of the ones we can talk about.
Yeah, we're just going to focus in on a few of the forgotten DCOMs today because, like Maddie was saying, there are just too many. And there's so many and they're so good and there's just so much to talk about. So let's just go ahead and get right into it today.
Let's jump in.
Okay, so we're taking things back to 1999 with this first DCOM. Now, this is one of those movies that I remember the visuals of, but I couldn't remember the name of it. Because it was one of those movies where you're like, did that really happen? Was that a fever dream?
A fever dream.
Yeah. Did I just dream this or did I actually watch this on Disney Channel? Then when I went online and I typed in Aliens 90s DCOM, there it was. And it was real and it existed. And I believe it was based off a book. There was
10
the
movies
title.
Came up.
No, 10 movies came up. Yeah, Maddie made a good point that movies seem to follow like trends. There was the era of, you said, cheerleader movies.
Yeah, we had these kind of coexisted. There was like the cheerleader movies, and then
so many of them.
It seemed like there was a multitude of alien movies.
So many. E.T. Well, that was like 80s, but do you remember Good Boy?
That's
niche.
Good Boy. This one, Can of Worms.
Oh, I didn't.
My Favorite Martian. Oh. Sorry, spoiler. Can of Worms.
A Can of Worms followed a young high school boy named Mike Pillsbury who didn't feel like he fit in with the rest of his school. Like, it was also the classic trope of Dad wants me to play football. I don't want to play football, Dad. I'm different.
I like to read.
Yeah, literally. And this kid felt so different that he was convinced. He's like, I must be an alien. I'm not meant to be on this planet.
Yeah. And we did watch the trailer for this film because we had to jump back into what Megan experienced as that young 6-year-old. And do they say the title of the movie?
Of course they do.
In the commercial, in the trailer? Of course they do.
Yeah, as part of the script in the movie. And is it delivered by a talking alien dog? Of course it is.
Of course it is.
But this young boy, like, using a satellite, reaches out
Because
to
as a young boy,
aliens.
he has the technology for
Yeah,
this.
because he's so different and nerdy. And he's like, he goes to his computer and he's like, basically, like, send help, like, take me away from this planet.
I
like,
don't belong on this planet. I'm not like other boys. I'm quirky.
I'm quirky. I must be an alien because I don't like American football.
No.
I have niche interests. And so the aliens receive his call. And Barnabas, the talking alien dog, is like, hey, man, you opened a can of worms. Ba-dum-cha. Because your message opened the Stargate. And it's now all these aliens are coming. And not all of them are very friendly. There is one specific one, though. One specific alien that stuck with me. And it's the one with the teeth. You know what I'm talking about?
It's traumatizing. It truly, as an adult, it's traumatizing.
Oh, he's like a round body with like really tall eyes, striped, and just full set of teeth. And I'm like, no, I know it's a puppet.
It's a full set of teeth. I know it's an alien, but it's not natural.
No, aliens don't have teeth.
He needs like jagged teeth or something.
Something different.
Like something different, not like human teeth.
Yes, it looked like he had like a set of dentures up in there.
Yes.
Actually, I thought this part was funny. I just read this on the wiki page because I did not rewatch this movie because, again, nightmares. But one of the aliens to arrive is called the Bomb. He's an alien lawyer, and he's insistent that Mike, this kid, sue Earth for millions of galactic credits, whatever those would do on Earth, because of all the pain and suffering due to the planet's substandard living conditions. Please!
Bruh.
And then some silly, goofy things happen. You know, Nick's younger brother. Wait, who's Nick?
Who's Nick?
Who's Nick?
How does it end? Just tell us how it ends. We don't have to recap everything.
And then there's like something called a Thode. I think he's a bad alien.
Thode?
I don't know. This is his name. Thoad. How would you
There's
say
a
that?
thought over there.
And
there's an alien called a thought.
Basically, they deem it was accidental. They closed the Stargate. All is well. Barnabas, the alien dog, is like, hey, Mike, last offer. Are you going to come with me? And he's like, nah, I'm good.
I'll stay
credits.
here.
That movie, parts of it stayed in my head rent-free, unfortunately. And it was mostly the scary aliens, the visuals of them. And I think one of them is my sleep paralysis demon. But that's a discussion for another day because we are here to talk about more forgotten DCOMs. And Maddie, what is a forgotten DCOM on your list?
All right. We could not have this episode without discussing True Confession.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Which is a movie that came out in 2002 starring none other than Shia LaBeouf.
Yes, who at the time, like, we all knew him through Even Stevens, but I feel like a lot of people forget about his involvement in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Like, outside of the Even Stevens movie.
Yeah, outside of the Even Stevens movie, he was in a movie called True Confessions. And this movie, we discussed this like a few years ago because I had forgotten about it. And you like unlocked this memory of mine. And I was like, oh my gosh. This was in the time when Disney was making, I mean, maybe they still do, but they were making like real stories.
They were covering a lot of like really sensitive topics at the time.
Yes.
And just like really like digging in and like just like showing like what, I don't know, like what real difficulties could look like.
Yes.
What real family dynamics could look like.
Yes.
And this was one of those movies that kind of fell into like showing what a family could look like in a relationship between two siblings that
twins actually.
Twins.
They
I
were
forgot
twins.
they were twins.
Yeah.
Okay, you take it away, take it away.
So the movie is based around True is our main character. And she has a brother who is played by Shia LaBeouf, who has a mental disability, I guess is the best way to put it. But so they're twins, and it shows kind of their dynamic. And she decides that she's going to enter a contest that she makes like basically like a documentary about her brother and their life together. And the parents are very busy always, so it's just kind of like the two of them against the world kind of. And so it just follows their story and kind of that dynamic of like her wanting to share like her and her brother's like story and like kind of how his life, how he lives his everyday. And it's just a really beautiful story, actually.
I know from my memory too, like, I think the thing that stuck out to me the most is like she would find these like frustrations with her brother.
Yes.
But then I feel like through the process of like making the documentary, just like really revealed to herself just like this deep love and appreciation that she had for her twin.
Yes.
And to be able to like celebrate their differences.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, like Disney really doesn't make deep cut
they
deep
don't.
movies like that.
They don't.
Like touch hard subjects.
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't have it in me to rewatch the movie quite yet.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, no, I can't be crying. I can't be crying right before the pod. And obviously, Shia LaBeouf has had his
Yeah.
his issues over the past few years, but he is an incredible actor, and I feel like that shows like even when he was a kid, like even Stevens, like it was like a silly character, but like yeah, like he just is a very talented actor, and so it's just like so it's such an emotional movie. Really pulls at the heartstrings of like their relationship. And I was like rewatching some of the scenes, and I'm like sitting here crying, like watching the YouTube clips,
Please. Or the
but
comments.
do you remember? Oh, they were like, they don't make movies like this anymore. Because I remember laughing. I was like, they get it. The people who are here commenting this, like right now, like
they know the deep cuts.
But yeah, and there's this scene where Shia LaBeouf's character gets like lost in a library, and he's like starts to freak out because he can't find his sister, and so he starts like yelling for his sister, and then he ends up. I don't know if you remember this scene. This like stuck out in my brain. But he like starts freaking out, and like this librarian, of course, like doesn't know like how to like help him. He's like this is a library, be quiet.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And he's like crying, and he's like, my sister. And then the sister finds him, and he ends up like backing into a bookcase, and all the books fall on him. And then they just have this like moment where she's like, I'm here, like tears.
And just holding him and just being there for their sibling. Oh.
But and then there's I didn't watch this scene, but I like saw the clip come up, and I was like, I remember that. There's like a scene where they're like at a beach, I think, with the kite, and he's like flying the kite, and she's like filming that.
She's crying again.
It's such a good movie.
I'll rewatch it with you.
I think we should rewatch it. That's why I was like, I also want to watch it with you because
I want to rewatch all of these that we're discussing,
except for Can of Worms.
Except for Can of Worms, yeah. I watched the trailer. That was good enough for me. Not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate in Can of Worms the like special effects that they were doing at the time. All right, we're taking it back to 1999 again. Disney with another banger, The 13th Year.
Oh, This movie follows a teenage boy who begins to go through some crazy changes on his 13th birthday.
As we all do.
As we all do, except his have a little bit of a twist, because not all of us grow scales.
A little more scales.
Yeah, less hair, more scales, more fins. Because this man is discovering that he's a merman. Yep, you heard that right. Mermaids are real, and his mommy was a mermaid. His mommy was a mermaid that was endangered of being captured, so she puts her baby boy on a boat, and that human couple ends up raising him. And everything is going great, and he seems to be a pretty normal teenage boy until, I am creating static electricity for some reason.
I have mystical powers of the ocean that equal static electricity.
My hands are sticky and I can crawl on the walls like Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, I'm on a date and I gotta hide these fins that are showing up in my on my arms right now in the sand. I gotta bury them deep.
My hands.
Oh my gosh, I'm on the swim team. And is this cheating?
Am I cheating? Question mark.
Setting new records?
But I'm so fast. I should be able to compete.
But the electric shock energy he has comes back later because he has to save one of his friends' lives.
Yes.
Not just
not him being a freaking paramedic and saving his friend's life.
He said, "Clear." That's intense.
That's a lot to go through at the age of 13.
Yeah,
at
for
the
a
very
Disney movie.
tender age of 13.
Found out I'm a merman. Cool, I can handle that. My friend dying on
saving lives. Trying to fall in love.
Trying to find love in this crazy, crazy world. Why isn't there hair there?
Please. So Maddie asked off pod, but if I end up editing this in, she was asking if people have anatomically correct parts, especially because he seemed to be human presenting. And
Human
and if I had to guess, okay, it goes like this. It seems like their situation in 13th year when he's immersed in water is like when the fin appears.
Fin comes, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like what was that TV show on Nickelodeon with the girls?
H2O
or Aquamarine. A lot of the movies kind of follow I think a lot of mermaid lore follows when you're on land you can walk with legs.
Yes.
And then when you're in the water you have a fin. So I think it just kind of,
it goes
away
to the fin?
I don't know if it goes I think it works however a fish's does. I think that the parts I think the parts work. I don't know how fishes deal with their stuff. So I'm imagining that it's the same. Also, they don't have butts anymore.
Yeah, how do they poop? Do fishes fart?
These are the questions that Disney didn't answer for us in the 13th year. And when we were all going through puberty, we had some hard questions.
My hard-hitting question.
And they didn't answer them for us.
Fishes poop.
But do fishes fart? That's a great question. So whenever they go bloop, 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 and they blow bubbles to the front, maybe they only
like burp.
Yeah. The equivalent of
Is
fish
it
burp.
do they have gases like we do?
I have no idea. Oh my gosh. Are we going to be like a marine biologist?
Catch us being marine biologists.
Study the fishies.
Studying mermen.
I just really want to really get to know how the intricacies of a merman, just truly.
Okay, before we jump back into the movie though, quick question. Are mer people real, yes or no?
Are mer people real, yes or no? I'm just going to go ahead. Can I have a maybe?
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
We don't know what's down there.
We don't know the ocean.
We know less about the ocean than we know about space.
That's terrifying.
But we're getting in the ocean, okay? Everyday people are getting in the ocean. You have to be trained to go into space, right? But we're just floating in the ocean like it's okay.
The things down below won't decide just
one day that they want to come up.
They just want to come up further. Because I think they have those capabilities, but we don't have the capabilities to go down there.
So just think about it. Just think about it.
There could be a community of more people living in the...
I like to think that there are.
But I think they're scary looking.
I don't think they look like Little Mermaid.
No, I don't think they have the little shells, the little pasties.
No, not the cute little tails. I think they're probably terrifying looking.
Sharp teeth. Yeah. Yeah.
Carnivorous.
Yeah, sirens, right?
Yeah, they're creepy.
Yeah, because they disguise themselves.
Yeah, don't they disguise their voices?
Their voices. You're so right.
Yeah. Is there a sexy merman movie?
Okay, wait.
Aquaman!
Wait. But more like a Twilight-esque. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We have wolves and vampires, but where's the merman lore?
Merman.
They exist. We just have to find them.
A merman and a fisherman.
Fall in love.
Oh, that too. I was going to say those are the two opposites. But I love that story.
Yeah.
He catches him and...
Yeah. Enemies to lovers. I'm writing that.
That's a muddy little book we could write.
His tail was wet and long. He held me with his warm fisherman hands. They were rough against my slimy tail. I'm good at this.
Against my slimy scales.
We made sushi with our bodies. He was the rice bed that I laid upon.
The sashimi.
Okay. What's your best siren song?
Let's see.
Oh, yeah. I like how throaty it is. She said,
how throaty it is?
Yeah. She goes,
hell yeah, it's throaty.
She goes, They'd come calling.
They would.
They'd respond.
They'd come crawling.
They'd come responding to that call.
Okay, what's yours? She went the Britney Spears route.
Please. Anyway, so the movie basically ends with our main character, which I haven't even said his name. What is his name?
Brian,
Chaz
Caleb,
or something?
Chad. Hang on here. Drew.
I got it. Cody Griffin.
Ah, dang. Cody was gonna be next. Cody was gonna be in there. Cody was gonna.
I believe it. I believe it. So the movie basically ends with Cody saying goodbye to his adopted parents. I think just for a short time because his biological mom is like, I'm gonna help him through these changes and like show him what it means to be a mer person. So, what song are you singing? I can't hear you speak up. Oh, changes. I said, speak up. I don't have headphones.
Speak up.
I can't hear you.
Speak up.
Sing louder.
No, I didn't want to sing because then you're gonna be like, we don't have rights, you know.
I know, it's whatever. They're not marking us. We're not monetizing.
But if someday,
someday we have to get in the habit.
You gotta prepare. Yeah, that's why I was singing quietly because it doesn't count if it's super quiet.
But
Trust
then,
me on this.
but then
I'm a lawyer.
I am a lawyer after all, as we learned in the last episode. I object.
I object.
Oh, okay. What movie do you have for us next? What's another forgotten DCOM?
Goodness, man, I'm still just on that 13th
You had a lot
high.
of questions about mermen. I'm gonna find some books. And
to
send
be
them your
honest,
way.
I've been holding on to them since 1999. So
You even born? You were 2.
yes, okay, those are two contradicting statements. First of all, were you even born? You were 2.
Were you even born? When were you born? It was me having the realization you were born.
You even got our producer on that one.
I got him laughing.
You got him laughing at your idiotic question.
The I in CIA stands for idiot.
Oh man, my stomach hurts from laughing way too hard about all my merman questions. Okay. Moving on. The next movie I think we should talk about because I feel like it truly is forgotten is You Wish, which came out in 2003.
Another siblings movie.
It's another siblings movie. And this movie follows 2 brothers, one older brother and one younger brother. Obviously, one has to be older, one has to be younger. And it stars, do you remember Spencer Breslin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he plays the younger brother. And the older brother is played by, oh gosh, I didn't write down the actor's name. He was in a ton of Disney stuff, though. He kind of had the...
He was in Even Stevens.
Yes, he was in Even Stevens.
He played
yep. That guy. And Tweety, because I don't remember his name in the movie.
The actress from the Lizzie McGuire show that plays the best friend Miranda.
Yes, she plays the friend of the older brother in this movie. And basically, Tweety gets annoyed with his younger brother all the time. He's like, ugh, he's so annoying, blah, blah, blah. And there's a scene where they go to the mall and the younger brother gets this like magic coin from a magic shop or something. And him and his older brother get in a fight. And then later that evening, he's like, hey, big bro, like, I just wanted to apologize. Here's a peace offering, gives him this magic coin. And the older brother wishes that he never had a younger brother. And he wakes up the next day and he doesn't have a younger brother. And so the movie
made my family disappear.
And Spencer Breslin's character ends up being like a child actor. And he's like a movie star.
So he's doing great without his brother.
He's doing great things. The older brother, he's still in high school. He doesn't really have a career ahead of him.
Parents in this, because I don't remember parents.
There's definitely parents. They're just not. It's not really about like.
Yeah, I mean, they're never really around in the
Disney
movies.
Parents are never really around.
There's usually only one of them, and if there's 2, they're fighting. And
are you okay? Just kidding. We have the same childhood.
You said, "Am I okay?"
Yeah. I was just joking.
Oh, I thought you said, "Are they okay?" I was like, I don't know.
Like I'm praying for them. I don't know. Anyway, so it follows the story of Tweety and the best friend Miranda. I'm giving them the wrong names because I don't know their names in the movies, but
I'm clearly researched heavy for today's episode. So sorry.
Hey, this is all just about the feelings and the vibes.
We're just reminding you
We're
of
just
these
reminding
titles.
you of what you forgot, and now you can go do your own studying. You're welcome.
Yeah, we didn't put deep dive in the title for a reason.
Let's just say we knew what we were doing. And yeah, so they're following the story of just like him trying to get his brother back, basically, because he's like, I made a mistake. I don't want to be an only child. And now he's successful and I'm not.
So how did he end up getting his brother back?
So the movie ends with he's failed to get his brother back because he's now a child star and doesn't know who his older brother is. And he's like, okay, well, now what do I do? And his dad just so happens to give the older brother some coins. Okay. And he's like,
convenient.
ugh, so annoying, but then recognizes the magic coin and he throws it. And then he's like, oh no, not the magic coin. I got to go get it. And then ends up making another wish to say, I wish I never made my first wish. And then he wakes up the next day and his brother is back.
And he has a new appreciation.
And he hugs him and
for him.
embraces
Aw.
his brother.
His brother was a little toot though, wasn't he?
Kind of, yeah.
There was a pretty big age gap, I feel like, between the two of them.
Yeah, I think so. I think the older brother's like in high school and the younger brother's like supposed to be like in elementary school.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure there's like a pretty significant.
Because he was like in charge of like babysitting him at the mall or something.
Yeah.
When they went in the first like.
And I'm
part.
pretty sure like the younger brother is like running away and like always does pranks and stuff like that. It's kind of his shtick.
Maybe he deserved it.
Maybe he deserved it. But then he got
the better
got
end of the deal.
rewarded?
Yeah.
although when he is a miserable child star, as I think is pretty common, unfortunately. But
Oh,
like he's not happy.
not
with his life.
Disney portraying
an
truth.
unhappy child actor.
They were showing us the truth. It was in front of our eyes the entire
No, they're
time.
like they're gloating at that point. They're like, yeah, we know it. What you gonna do about it?
we're gonna take all your money. We're gonna make all this money off you.
What you gonna do?
All right, so my next forgotten DCOM. I was going back and forth about putting this on the list because in my mind it's just as popular as some of the other titles.
As High School Musical?
As High School Musical, obviously. But if we're having High School Musical be the bar, then I think this fits. My next forgotten DCOM is Gotta Kick It Up. Si se puede. This movie came out in 2002. So this was right in that era of like all the cheerleading movies like you were talking about. I think it was definitely in the era of Bring It On.
Yeah.
I know there was other cheerleading.
There was other cheerleader movies, but that's like the most.
Yeah.
There were so many Bring It Ons.
Literally. So Disney did their own version. But what was so cool about this is that it focused on a predominantly Latino school.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the characters were Latina. So it was like the first time like being able to see like other girls that looked more similar to me
Mm-hmm.
and being like, oh my gosh, like they're Mexican.
Yeah.
I'm Mexican. Oh my gosh, they're cheerleaders. I want to be a cheerleader. They're dancers. And I think it was really cool. Also, it's funny looking back because I watched like some clips and scenes from the movie. They're supposed to be like 14
Yeah.
and they seem so much older.
They do, yeah.
Like some of the characters do. And they have like boyfriends and
yeah.
jobs. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, I guess that is kind of like the reality if you're like maybe a freshman getting your first job and things like
Mhm.
that. And I think her boyfriend was supposed to be a little bit older than she
Yeah,
was.
definitely he was.
Because he was already driving and things like that. And I was just
But
like,
he drives.
what'd you say?
I said, but he drives.
From again.
No, I'm just saying it like.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was like a thing when you were like a
Oh,
teenager. It
yes.
was like, oh my gosh, he drives.
oh my God, he drives. Why were the men always driving first? It seemed like.
I mean, are you that surprised? Are you that surprised?
I guess I did petition hard to be a passenger princess, so that's on me.
You really did. You were like, I ain't driving for nobody.
So Miss Bartlett is the new biology teacher at this school, and she is a Juilliard trained dancer, okay?
I guess
But she
is.
sees the kids. The kids are acting up. They're acting rowdy. They're not paying attention in the class. And so she's like, because you're not paying attention, like, dance team is canceled. Well, the dance team ends up, like, performing for Miss Bartlett. And she's like, okay, you know what? We can bring the dance team back, and I'm gonna agree to coach you guys. We're gonna make this happen. And so throughout the movie, Miss Bartlett helps the girls find their voice, improve on their skills, and they end up, going to compete. And it's just like a really sweet movie where I think, again, it was like one of the first times, like, I think people always kind of like reference this, but like seeing yourself, especially in a media that we consumed a lot.
Yeah.
Disney Channel, like exclusively at that age. It was so much Disney Channel. And I think this was also in the era when I was first exposed to Selena.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh.
Latina power.
Yeah, Latina power. There's so many like Latina queens that I could like look up to. And yeah, they had that expression that I will always remember. And it's like, si se puede. I think they said that like, I think that was half the script. I'm not going to lie.
It was half the script.
I think it quite. And we can't go without mentioning the fact that America Ferrera is in that movie.
Yes.
She plays one of the girls on the dance troupe. And
Icon.
Then the icon. And then the actress that plays Miss Bartlett is Susan Egan, who voices Meg in the Hercules movies. So
I'm also an icon.
I know, right? A
That's
literal
awesome.
princess.
Yeah.
Like, is Meg considered a Disney princess?
Yeah.
I mean, in my eyes, right?
I think so.
She's not a princess. And she's not a villain.
Blasphemous.
But Egan believes that Meg undergoes a much larger arc than the Disney princesses as she experiences a change of heart.
Do they consider her a villain?
She's not a well, then this is she's not a typical. 15 Disney characters who aren't officially princesses but should be. Interesting.
All right, rapid fire the list. Rapid fire the list. I need to know. Who's not considered a princess?
Okay, Anastasia, but Disney just bought that property. I don't think that counts. Maid Marian from Robin Hood. Princess Elian. How do you say this name from the Black Cauldron? Elianwe? How would you say that? Elianwe? Eleni? I watched this movie recently, but I think I was sick and I probably was going in and out of fever dreams.
All right, next one.
Kira from Atlantis. Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon. Dot from A Bug's Life. She literally is a princess.
She literally is a princess.
Nani from Lilo and Stitch.
Okay, well,
Megara.
That makes sense.
Esmeralda.
I mean, she's a queen to us, but
yeah, she's not. Yeah, Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay,
Princess Melody, literally a princess.
Literally a princess.
It's in her name, so they should rethink that.
Get
Princess
your back
Leia. What? Jane. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Giselle from Enchanted. Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And finally, Anna from Frozen, which she's literally a princess too.
She's literally a princess too. She's literally royalty.
Don't
Princess Anna? Princess Anna. If princess is in their name, they are a Disney princess. What is the criteria? Okay, whatever. Forget it.
Must have a sidekick that's an animal, or
is it if they're the main character?
Maybe.
Because these people aren't main characters.
I mean, Sleeping Beauty was
characters.
not even really in her movie, and she's a Disney princess.
Yeah, what the? She did zero work.
She slept through half the film.
Another side tangent on this side tangent.
Yeah.
Who knows how true it is because on TikTok. But I saw like one of those like slides. It was talking about like Snow White, the actress that played Snow White, and how basically she couldn't do anything for the rest of her career because they were like, no, you're the voice of Snow White, so you can't do anything.
What? That was so old
she basically
school.
didn't have like a career.
That's such an old school way of thinking.
Yeah. So because she did that one thing. And then when they like redid Snow White, they were like, oh no, we don't need you. Sorry, we hired someone else. Like when they did like another one or whatever.
Angry for this person.
I know.
What?
Like, and she was still alive. And I guess did they make a second movie? See, I don't know anything about Snow White.
I think
like,
they did, yeah.
I think they made a second one and then they used like a different actress.
Please.
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing?
No, that's wild. They're like,
Anyways.
no, we're going to hold you to ourselves.
Like, what do you do though? Because you can't work. You can't do anything else. They literally said you cannot work because
Did
you're
she do
Snow
a different
White.
career, or is she like just paid by the
no
studio?
idea.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think they paid her.
Wait, now I want to
They
deep
paid
dive
her?
this.
We do need to deep dive it because
Just for myself.
They only paid her like a very small amount for
Of
the
course.
role, and then they didn't pay her anything after, and she got
course.
paid like less than like.
Well, because wasn't that one of the first animated films?
That was Disney's first film.
That's crazy. You are literally the face of their first movie, or like the voice of and the star. But they're like, no, we're gonna just hoard you to ourselves.
For why?
For why?
Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Rant over.
Whew.
All right,
Just gotta
Maddie.
shake it off.
What is your final forgotten DCOM?
The last movie that we are going to talk about is called Hounded. And this movie came out in 2001. And it stars Taj Mowry, who is actually Tia and Tamara Mowry's younger brother.
Yes.
And this movie, the way it has lived in my brain since I was a kid, and like one scene in particular that I will get into in a second, it's one of those like movies that I like thought was kind of a fever dream, because like every once in a while I'd be like, do you remember this, Megan? And you kind of like were like, I don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So Taj Mowry's character is competing in this like competition where he could win this scholarship, and he really, really needs to win this scholarship. Otherwise, he's going to be sent off to the military school that his brother goes to. So he's going head to head with none other than Shia LaBeouf, who is his bully.
Also, the bully's name, his name is Ronnie.
And his name is Ronnie.
Which just sounds like, no offense to Ronnies out there, but just
bully.
It sounds like a bully name.
And Shia's character steals Taj's character's like note cards. So he basically plagiarizes and steals his speech. And we come to find out that Shia's dad in the movie is actually the principal of like the school that they currently go to. So,
nipple baby, he's giving nipple baby autism.
So Taj ends up losing the competition, but now he's like, this isn't right, because it's not. He was stolen from. So he proceeds to sneak into the pool house of Shia LaBeouf. And
they got
trying
money.
to get evidence, right? Yeah, they got money because they got a pool house. Trying to get evidence and be like, I know he stole my note cards. So he's going in there trying to find the note cards. But as he's doing that, the parents have a show dog named Camille.
Camille. Insane.
And this show dog decides that she's going to follow Taj Mowry home. And so now they think that their dog's been dognapped. So we follow the adventure of Taj and his older brother then comes home trying to like figure out what to do with this dog that followed them home. And the scene that sticks out in my brain comes up whenever they get home and they're like, what do we do with this dog? And they realize that this dog has some issues. This dog needs some anti-anxiety medication.
On a few different medications.
It's on a few different medications, and it's supposed to be taking those medications every few hours. And so when the dog runs out of that, medication flowing through its little veins, it loses its mind a bit and completely tears up their house. So then the older brother comes home and he's like, what happened? Like, what is going on? And how can I help you out, little bro?
Like, what? Yeah, what's the situation here?
But just the scene. So the dog is like a little Pomeranian. And just the scene, like he's like laying on the couch, just chilling. And all of a sudden this dog starts freaking out and like jumps on him. And it's like, and it's like a little white fluffy dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ingrained in my memory of like this little white fluffy dog just like attacking him. And it's just like,
it's like obviously
so
a puppet kind of a thing.
Yes, yeah, it's just so unhinged. And I love it. And I love everything about it.
And then later, I think the brothers find a way to like frame Ronnie for like stealing the dog, and then it comes out that he stole the cards from him, and then I think all is well. He gets a chance again to give his speech for the potential scholarship, and after he does that, I think that Eliza, the mom, who was nowhere around, but it's her show dog Camille. Camille's now pregnant, I guess, and she offers Jay, the Taj Mowry character, a puppy.
I'd be like, get that puppy away from me.
He's all be like, no,
I can't afford those medications.
She's like, you want one? I'm going to keep the rest, but you can have one.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny. That'd be so stressful if someone's pet just followed you home. Like, you're like, go. Like,
go back.
I guess he's a kid. It's a movie. He was already like sneaking into someone's space to begin with. He was already committing a crime.
True.
To prove himself innocent, but man, that one is definitely a deep cut. And I think that you were the one to remind me of it. You unlocked that memory, so thank you.
You're welcome, and we need to watch it.
I think we need to have a watch party of all of these, except for A Can of Worms.
Yeah,
because it's nightmare fuel, at least
also,
for me.
that one just doesn't even look good.
Ooh, hot takes, hot takes.
Well, here's the thing. None of them are going to be that great, but
I think we should play a quick game, though,
yes, let's do it.
before we wrap things up today. Which movie out of the ones we discussed today do you think has the highest rating on Rotten Tomatoes?
Okay, hang on. Let me look at I like this game. Let me look at my list again. Okay, no. Okay, it's between True Confessions and Gotta Kick It Up.
That's where I'm at. I think I'm going to go Gotta Kick It Up.
I'm going to go True Confessions.
So Gotta Kick It Up, drum roll please, comes in at 55%.
Ooh.
What's True Confessions?
True Confessions is at 84%.
84%! I don't think we can beat that. I'm not even going to look up the other ones because there's no way. There's no way.
There's no shot the other ones are higher.
And if they are higher, I don't trust the system.
I do not trust the system.
54 for 13th year. There was one movie that we didn't get to include because it's technically not a DCOM. It was before DCOMs were a thing, and we have the iconic song, you know? Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. Which, how do we not sing that at the beginning of this? Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. We're gonna watch a Disney Channel movie. I always thought it was said, we're gonna watch.
I thought so too until I watched it earlier today. They never say, we're gonna watch. Unless I'm losing my mind. Because
It's
I
a
always sang
Berenstein
it.
Bears.
It really is, because I always sing it.
We're gonna watch a Disney Channel movie.
And then back into it.
Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. Oh, that got me so hype.
Oh, I'm hyped right now. Just singing it.
Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. But this last one.
I've been singing that all day.
This last one's just an honorable mention. It was considered a Disney premiere.
Huh.
It was called Wish Upon a Star, and it came out in 1996. And it starred Katherine Heigl.
It's so good.
And it was a sibling movie again. Two sisters. One that was super hot and popular. And the other one that was like, I have the more understated, quirky sister. No one sees me. I'm nerdy. And she makes a wish to like live in her sister's shoes for like a day. And bada bing, bada boom.
It's good. That one's a fun one. From what I remember. I haven't seen it in years, but.
There's a lot of Wish on a Star movies.
You Wish, Wish Upon a Star.
When You Wish Upon a Star. Pinocchio, basically. It's the
It's
OG.
called Pinocchio, but yeah.
Yeah. But it's about a wish.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Like, didn't Geppetto literally wish on the star?
I thought you were saying, like, there's a lot of movies with the title Wish, like with the name Wish in the title.
Well, that too. But no, literally a Disney movie came out called Wish this last year.
That is true. Did anyone see it?
I haven't seen it. Have you?
No.
Oh, no. Anyways, we've been too busy talking about DCOMs. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We hope that it unlocks some DCOMs in the back of your brain today. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to follow and subscribe.
And we love hearing from you guys, so definitely let us know what your favorite DCOM was. And you can catch us again next Friday. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.